Hello there, everybody. Today we have a harder nut to crack than usual, I would say. This chess study is pretty complex and not easy to solve, but it's a real beauty, and I think you will really enjoy this video if you stick with it to the end. Okay, white to move here, and we are to win this. The problem is, of course, black's pawn here, one step away from promotion, also covering h1, so we cannot put our rook there. We have to find some other means of winning this game. So why don't you have a look at this on your own, pause the video, and see if you can find out how white wins, or at least get started in the first few moves. Go ahead. Okay, welcome back. So let's look at this. Of course, the pawn needs to be stopped somehow, but we are also planning an attack on the king. So if we just move our rook somewhere to c4 perhaps, and threatening a very devastating check here on h4, it's just not quick enough, because we are allowing black to use this square, queen a1 check, and if we go here, then we are allowing the queen to come to g7 with a check, and followed by taking the bishop on g6 with a check. Even if we put our bishop in between with a check, it doesn't matter. Black can simply take here and then get another queen, and we will lose this for sure. Okay, and what if we take this pawn on e6 in this position? Well, it's easy for black. He can just go back to a6 with a check, and also threaten our rook. We go to d5 to defend, and then black can either just sacrifice his queen on the rook here, or promote to a new queen right away. Both are winning for black. So the starting move, rook c4, is not good enough. We have to find something else. And let's look at king f7. We are then threatening a checkmate here on f6 with the bishop, but this is also not good enough. Black has this tempo move here, getting his knight into action with a check. We cannot take it because black will simply take back, and then we are just not good enough. We don't have enough material to win this. Instead, we have to move the king somewhere, maybe back, and obviously we don't want him to get his knight involved like that, and he can play simply like this. We've seen that we cannot leave the first rank with the rook, and now the knight is really into the business. So, what is the right starting move? Well, it's not that hard to find. It's starting with a check on c8 with our rook. Now, you see, of course, black has to put something in between, otherwise it's checkmate. And he doesn't want to put his queen there, obviously. So he puts his knight there. And next move is also pretty easy to see. Of course, we take this with our bishop. Taking with the rook is a very bad idea, obviously. He will just sacrifice on that with his queen and then get the new queen. But with the bishop, he cannot take. And we are also threatening. Sorry, cannot take like that. That's a checkmate. And we are threatening to take his queen with a discovered checkmate. So getting a new queen doesn't help. What about if black now tries queen a6? Can you see what happens here? How do we win this as white? Well, he's threatening our rook, and we don't do anything about it. We simply moved our king to f7. He can have our rook if he wants to, because then we will checkmate him with bishop f6. And that also applies, of course, if black takes a new queen here. It doesn't matter. We still have the bishop f6 checkmate, and it's unstoppable. Black can try this, queen b7 check, but we simply put our bishop in between. And then we have a discovered check, forcing black to take our rook, and then we just continue to f6. This is a checkmate. Beautiful. But of course, this study doesn't end here. That's just what happens if black plays queen a6 in this position. The best defense for black is queen a1. Check. Now we got a tempo move with a check, and now it really begins this study. You want to pause again and see how white win from here? Then go ahead. All right, here we go. So we cannot take this pawn because then we allow black to escape with his king up to g7, and he gets away from all the threats we had. Is threatening this one instead, and also threatening to get a new queen, and black is winning this easy. So we have to stop the king from coming out, and we do that by playing king f7. And then the obvious response is, hey, what about queen g7, which is actually the only move for black not to lose right away. So why did we go here, just allow the queen to come to g7? Well, the point is that we wanted him to block this square for his queen, for his king. Now he cannot move the king there, then we can take this. And we are still winning this, even though black has got his queen in everything, is threatening to promote to another queen, and is threatening our bishop. But look at this, what happens if he takes our bishop? Well, then we simply put our bishop in between, and we have a check and a discovered check, which means the king has to move, and it's going to be a checkmate in the next move. Such a beauty. So after we take the pawn on e6, black cannot take this bishop. He will lose right away. And there are no other checks but one that doesn't include losing the queen right away. And that's, of course, queen g8 check. That's what he will play. And the question is now again, how do we win from here? Okay, if we put the bishop in between, it's not the right move. Black will play queen g4, and the next move he will take our rook, and also he has an escape route for his king. Very, very bad for white. We have to do something else. We have to move our king. And we cannot move it somewhere where it either blocks the bishop or allows the queen to get another check out here. So we have to play king e5. Again, of course, you cannot take here because of the double check, and followed by a checkmate on h8. And he might try to escape with his king here, but it's not good enough either. We still have this beautiful check here, and he cannot take because we simply take the queen with a check and then get his pawn, and we are winning this. And if he plays the king to h6 instead, doesn't matter. We still take here. We allow him to get another queen, and then very simple check and check, and we take the queen. Okay, so we are not all the way done yet here also. Okay, the king cannot move. He has no real checks anywhere. He cannot take this, but still he has this check actually. Yes, it is losing the queen right away, and we are forced to take it, but it also blocks this 8th rank with 2 bishops, so we don't have any discovered check anymore. So that's black's final try. And after we take that, he will promote to a new queen. But we are still winning, of course, otherwise the study wouldn't be so great. All right, final moves here. Can you find out how white wins from here? Here we go. We get the bishop to f6 check again. And, well, you cannot put the queen in between. He will just lose it. The king can go to 2 squares. If he goes here, well, then it's checkmate in 1. Not good enough. So black will move his king to h7. And now the final attack. How do we win? I think you've seen it now. We just sacrifice our bishop here on g6, check. Obviously, he cannot take it with the queen because it will block his own king, and we have a checkmate here. So beautiful. And if he takes it with the king, it's the same variation we looked at before. It's a check, and we will take the queen. And finally, if he goes to h6, it's the same position we looked at. Then we get a check, force him to take it, another check, and boom, we got the queen. And everybody would win from here, I would say. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. If it was too difficult, too hard, let me know, and I will try to find an easy one next one. But maybe you enjoy this all the way. I hope. Anyway, thank you for watching this. Please give me a thumbs up, and see you later. Bye bye.